Of what value has your suffering been? Let's all take a breath here. This is actually a big one. Don't react too fast. Every single one of us, fused in the circle of ego, has taken our suffering with great seriousness, even pride. It's preoccupied us. And in it we've blamed, we've projected, we've raced for victimhood. Oh, baby, we have drunk from that cup of believing our suffering has value. If you were a Christian in medieval times, whipping myself with a corded ropes until the skin bleeds has value. Insanity. Of what value has your suffering been? I really invite you this week, wait a minute, is something in my being actually maybe holding on to a value to my suffering? See how much I've been hurt. This is the value. It holds me in this perception of myself as a victim. How might I have been valuing my suffering? You should see me. You should love me. Look at all that I do. All of us have an element of that in us where we have sacrificed, done for others, but the secret agenda is to get attention, to be approved of, and be loved. Of what value has your suffering been, but for a moment's experience, a sudden fantasy? Pay attention to this. It has not fed you. Give that a deep breath. But I thought it did. Oh, my suffering. Oh, my suffering. Has not fed you, but with the illusion of sustenance. In Tibetan Buddhism, there's this beautiful image of a guy, itty-bitty tiny mouth, massive belly. It has to constantly feed. The ego is constantly feeding, trying to draw sustenance. But all it can draw in is illusory. There is no sustenance. I can imagine I'm eating chocolate when I bite into cardboard. Can we really sit for a while and start to break the spell, the preoccupation, the feeding off of our suffering? This is a huge one. It's a major threshold in the awakening process. Did I stop right there when he first shared this? Heck no. Too much in the way, needing to be purified first. Only some years later did I look at this and go, yep, I remember when I actually thought my suffering was somehow feeding me. And he goes on, so what is suffering then? What is this thing? We all experience it, but what is it? It's because the world is screwed up. It's because that person doesn't get me. It's because that ought to be different. That's what my suffering is. Nope. We failed on that one. Suffering is but, which means it's nothing else, the enduring, to endure, to tolerate, to grit your teeth and make it through. Suffering is but the enduring of separation. Bingo, this is huge. Oh my God. If I could notice when I'm suffering, take a breath and go, wow, I am actually feeling and witnessing the whole separation process right now. The I is what's suffering. it's got me preoccupied and identified with it, and all I'm doing is enduring separation. And up comes all the preoccupations. Oh, I'm suffering because my husband doesn't love me anymore. So, I don't know, call your girlfriends and go to the Bahamas and party. Let him not love you. Go have some fun. Oh, but I don't. Suffer, enduring suffering. Yet it has never fed us. Suffering equals simply but the enduring of separation. Oh, my lover has left me. I'm so alone. Oh, I'm suffering. Oh, wow. I'm enduring separation. The very I, preoccupied with the loss of the lover and all of its aloneness. This is happening in a theater near me. I'm playing out the enduring of separation. I could be desiring, allowing, resting, giving thanks that the lover ever came in the first place as a temporary gift from God. We start to get that everybody belongs to themselves and that one. There's not much space left for attachment, grasping, and conclusions about what they should be. Suffering is but the enduring of separation, the embracing of one's, the separate self's, only thought. The embracing. Let's stop right there. Suffering. Bring a moment when, I'm suffering there. My lover left, dog died, parakeet flew away, money just, whatever it might be. Whatever. A moment of what you've called suffering. And then take your arms and just embrace it. Bring it in so there's nothing else but that. He's telling us that suffering is the enduring of separation, the embracing of one's only thought. Yeah, when we desired to hide by creating fear and the birthing of ego and all of its patterns, and gave it such devotion to creating and grooving this creature, this critter, this most amazing experience, I'm embracing my only thought. I am separate. My will be done. I will decide. I will choose. I am. And then, of course, nothing ever works. Everything slips through the ego's fingers. Then we get frustrated. We're suffering. I'm embracing my only thought. When I suffer, deep down in the deepest taproot, the cornerstone of it all, I am electing, just as I did in the primordial beginning, to embrace, which is an act of love, my only thought. Separation. Let's give that a really deep breath. If that can begin to land for you now, you will save yourself lifetimes. Instead of trying to work out my suffering, figure out what will work and make it go away so I have more of what I want, just let that truth get clearer and clearer and clearer. In every moment of suffering, what's really going on? We don't suffer because the lover leaves. We suffer because of what we made of the lover. I'm suffering because my plan failed. The I failed. I'm embracing my only thought. My only thought. Wow. What he's just shared with us here, and in fact this whole letter, is worth about $50 million. as a down payment? Are we willing to live with it day in and day out and let it begin to land, let it begin to be shown? What is the subtle dynamic of my suffering? Truly. Do I keep projecting it outside? Could it be emanating like a sound from a beacon buried in my belly somewhere? Well, I'm separate, I'm separate, I'm separate. Cling to this, stay here, don't let go of this. Love that suffering. This is what keeps you separate. And then he tells us, it's time to release your hold. He doesn't say it's time to believe a different thought. It's time to go through the process of releasing the hold. Notice what my hand's doing very naturally. Hold. Put your hand out and just do that. Hold. I'm separate. I'm alone. My kingdom. All of my thoughts, perceptions, my suffering. Yep, this has great value. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. And now release it. Just start. It's time to release my hold on this simple thought. I don't know how to do that. Wait a minute, just keep breathing, practicing Shalu, forgive, learn to allow. All of these things are the way we release the grip. It's a living practice of visceral, felt transformation in the seat of our very being, from soul to self.